لا كيف نجيب؟ هاي نجيب حكيمة. يلا يا عمي هالشيالة وين اعتقدوا أن هذا المكان ربما يكون هو مكان آمن، وبالفعل تواجدوا هناك أسرهم بشكل كامل، أطفال، نساء، كبار. صبيحة اليوم تم استهداف الكنيسة بشكل مباشر من قذيفة مدفعية، يعني أدت إلى استهداف المكان بشكل مباشر. تحدث على 7 من الإصابات، منهم شخص يعني ذو احتياجات خاصة، وهناك 3 من كبار السن.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, I was planning on going live about something else, but about an hour ago, this news came across my feed, and I figured we should talk about it. Let me know. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Grace and peace. What's happening, Elizabeth Engel? Thank you for tuning in. So, yeah. So, I mean, the title's right there. Israel strikes Christian church in Gaza. I'm seeing some conflicting reports that it was a Roman Catholic church. Some people are saying that it was an Orthodox church. I think the most important fact is that it's a church. And the young man in the video said it. They fled to the church because they believed that it would be a safe haven that wouldn't be attacked. And reports are that there was it was hit directly by a shell, right? So whether it was Protestant, Orthodox, Roman Catholic, it's a church. And the rules of engagement generally are that hospitals, churches, schools, you know, highly populated civilian areas are supposed to be off limits. I mean, this is, again, you don't want to draw any conclusions. We're just still finding information out. But this is not I know that's the question, because there's a lot of information going on about this in the, in the social media world. I don't know if it can be confirmed. I'm just going by, right, what I'm seeing on my feed and just having the, he says it's everywhere. And Colin Rugg is an aggregator, someone that I've followed for a while. He rarely makes, faux pas this big. Somebody says make mistakes happen in war. And then this guy says, blank everyone that criticizes Israel. The most moral and advanced army in the world, bar none. Right? At some, and then this guy obviously has, you see what he has on the flag guy. He's got his America and Israeli, the Zionism is just so toxic as a theology. It really is. We looked at the Misfit Patriot on the last. Oh yeah, I said I was going to be back, but I was planning on doing something else. But I started it off with this. I have some other stuff. There's so much stuff, Caleb, in my rundown that I haven't been able to get to. Thank you. If you could like the video on your way in. And I want to get to it before I go to work again. So yeah, I got to get to this rundown. I have so much stuff to talk about. Right. But let me see if I can. Yeah. Because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Yeah. But this guy says, blank everyone who criticizes Israel. And I'm like, but don't they deserve to be criticized if they bomb a church? So we just can't criticize them about anything. And this is the mindset right here, right? This is what, I know this is not an actual quote, but it sums up the mindset succinctly. God ordained that strike. It blesses those who bless Israel, right? Because this is a mockery that we have to just accept anything that Israel does without question. And again, the cries of anti-Semitism are coming in. They're going to come in. But if you have any compassion, you would think, okay, in war, there are going to be casualties. There'll be mistakes. But they're saying that this was a tank, an artillery shell from a tank. And they're like, how do you accidentally, that's the question, accidentally strike the only Catholic church in Gaza using a tank? People are saying, oh, mistakes happen in war. How many times do we have to say, yeah? Even if it weren't a mistake, here's the problem with Zionists. If there were clear evidence that this was purposeful, Zionists, would you condemn the actions of the Israeli military? That's the question. Even if it were. So you all think it's a mistake. Some of you, we got the F for everyone that criticizes Israel mindset, right? The problem with Zionism is that even if it were proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that this was purposeful, you would still excuse Israel. That's why people are pushing back on your cult-like mindset. That's why for years, as much as because I haven't been on the Christian Zionism train since maybe 2012. It took me a little while to read through the whole Bible and then read a couple of commentaries by Zionists and see that it didn't fit. So by the end of 2013, after becoming a Christian in 2012 and having been indoctrinated into Zionism by default, because it's the air we breathe in Christianity, and again, those bad ideas filter down to your smaller churches. But if Zionists, if there was beyond a shadow of a doubt Israel was wrong and they purposefully bombed this church, where people call upon the name of the Messiah, right? Where people call upon the name of the Messiah, they join together, they pool resources, they feed the poor, they clothe the naked, they take care of the sick, that are actually walking out Christian principles, constantly praying for the peace in nations, and this place where the name of the Lord is being honored is bombed by a country where the majority religion calls Jesus a fatherless son and claims that he is burning in hell. At some point, when Zionists, when will you open your eyes and realize that you are getting played because you are misinterpreting the Bible? That's the question. Your misinterpretation of the Bible has cost untold billions of dollars in foreign aid. It's cost us lives. Generations have been lost. So that's the question. Because there are Zionists who will explain this away, specifically in the government. I expect to see nothing from Ted Cruz. All right. And the like. But this is unless this is propaganda and we're being played, right? Which is possible. All right. Let's see. It's trending now. Oh yes, this was another video that I wanted
about
to
the
talk
deaths
about.
of 20,000 children in Gaza. Are you capable of doing that?
Video.
I can tell you.
Hold on. I want to play this video because it was in my queue.
I'm going to give you one last chance to offer some empathy or sympathy or sorrow about the deaths of 20,000 children in Gaza. Are you capable of doing that?
I can tell you that had you cared, and I don't believe you that you care a tiny bit about one killed person, if you do not use the means that you have as a media person to stop educating children.
I gave you 4 chances.
Jews. Right. Okay, you gave me 7. You gave me 7.
And you know what? You couldn't give a damn, could you?
That you are to blame more than me.
You don't care. And all you want is all the Palestinians gone. You can barely even bring yourself to say their name. All you want is to take over the West Bank and Gaza. You don't care how many die in the process. You want them all gone. You don't care, do you? That's the bottom line.
As you said, the audience will judge.
Yeah, they will.
And I saw a longer form clip of this when it was in my rundown. But this is...
I'm going to give you one last chance.
You know, this is... I don't know. Yeah. Oh boy. So y'all saying that there are no Christian churches in Gaza? At all? None? Y'all, can we verify that? Well, let's just we'll try a quick search to see if that's true. I like to, just in case, right? All right. Because this is a this is simple. See if we can find any information about that. Get our research started, right? Here. Oh boy. Al Jazeera. Yes, there are a very small number of Christian churches still active in the Gaza Strip, serving a community of roughly 800 to 1,000 Christians, down sharply from several thousand 2 decades ago. Christian churches in Gaza. What's going on doing work? Yeah. Holy Family Church, Catholic. So there's the Church of St. Porphyrius, Greek Orthodox, Holy Family Church, Catholic, Gaza Baptist Church, Protestant. So, yeah. All right. So again, before making the declaration, so I don't like to make declarations like that without evidence. So, I'll just see if I can find any information. I know we had some people in there who were making some very bold statements. See now. Okay. Yeah. But we've got some other things to talk about. Right? Yes. Jesus is Lord. I don't know about the God bless Israel part though. Not if they're doing what they're doing here. Yeah. Not if this is true. God, I would say God thwart them. If they have this mindset, they're bombing Christian churches. I would pray that God would thwart them. Now, there's some people who are saying that it's actually it wasn't the, yes, it wasn't. What's going on, Leo? Lek? Yeah. Underscore. So some people are saying that it was actually Orthodox. Right? Okay. So it wasn't the, yeah. It wasn't a Catholic church, it was the Orthodox church. So I'm just trying to figure it out, like which church, and there's still reports coming in, but this is heinous no matter what, if this is true. And again, Zionists, it just doesn't bode well that you all can't criticize Israel. It's just cult-like behavior. It really is. It's cult-like behavior. And those of us who are Christians and believe, I mean, there's so many streams of Christianity and Christian thought that oppose Zionism, the Christian Zionist dispensational hermeneutic, that we shouldn't be bound to their rigid interpretation. And our government, we want them rooted out. If I'm being honest, I don't want any Zionist in our government. Why? Because they're compromised. Their theology leaves them compromised. They're open to persuasion based on their Israel first theology. And we're all tired of it. Not everybody, but a growing segment of us are tired of it. We're tired of your misinterpretation of the scriptures. We're tired of that misinterpretation of the scriptures causing us generations, gold in the form of money, right? 3 G's. And you're just essentially moving us towards globalism. We don't want that. America first means America first. It doesn't mean Israel. Israel shouldn't even be in our top 10 concerns. And with the Epstein situation, the possible connections to Mossad, I forgot the guy's name who was standing next to Trump, and he was his considered his handler. I forget his name. That's how quickly the news cycle passes you by. You don't have time to memorize stuff, and I'm all about memorization, but you can't memorize these things, right? Yeah, exactly. We want America first. We want our nation, because it starts with self, then family, neighborhood, municipality, city, state, region, country. It's supposed to grow out. This mindset, this globalist mindset, makes people think about the person farther away than those who are right next to them. And so we don't have nobody has hatred for Jewish people, but anyone who lives here should be focused on our country. Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate, Kendall. You're right. Kendall Zabo says it. Like, the Republican Zionists are going to be very quiet about this. And that was my question. They'll continue to commit logical fallacies in order to support the nation state of Israel. Right. If it is discovered that this entire strike was purposeful and that they struck the church on purpose, right? It wasn't an accident. Would Zionists would they criticize Israel? I don't think they would. You don't criticize who you worship. That's just religion 101. That's religion 101. If you're a Christian and you criticize Jesus, you're not a Christian. If you're a Muslim and you criticize Muhammad, you don't know. You criticize Allah, probably not a Muslim, right? If you're a Zionist and you criticize Israel, you're not a Zionist. You're absolutely not a Zionist. Thank you to Kiana Shaw. Let me see who's in here because we gotta. My wife is sending me some stuff. I'm gonna say hello to everybody that's in here. Elizabeth Ingo said hello. Caleb was still in here. Zampai, thank you for tuning in. Donna Wilkinson, Heart Matters. YouTube is a fascist company. That's a username. Okay. Hello to you. First to watch. All right. Kiana Shaw, welcome, sister. Doing work. We said hello. All right. Enter Sweet Rest. Cyrog. And I saw Lek. Saw you up Lek underscore, right? I think that's it. The man. Welcome. So we got a nice short small group here. Kendall Zabo, thank you. Look at Brother Derek Franklin over there. I already took my wife out to lunch. Brother Derek Franklin, you ain't got to keep. We just got back from lunch. All right, Brother Derek Franklin with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Brother Derek Franklin. You are the man. All right. If you switch the name from Israel to Russia or China or North Korea, or Zionists would have no problem criticizing them. It's ignorant and hypocritical to exempt Israel from criticism. Well, Brother Derek Franklin, they would say it's biblical. That it's biblical that they're, right? Not ignorant and hypocritical, that it's biblical that they support everything that the nation state of Israel does. Yeah, it is. Yeah. But again, there is no warrant biblically for this obsession with the nation state of Israel and support. There is no biblical warrant for it. I already did a video on that, and it was just the premises are they're false, they're fallacious, and then the argumentation is fallacious on the face of it. It's easy to dismiss that, right? Especially when you understand certain doctrines and certain misinterpretations like Matthew 24 and the like, how people have taken that scripture and turned it into mincemeat. Essentially, the dispensational hermeneutic makes Jesus a liar. And I could never, ever agree with the hermeneutic that makes Jesus a liar, because he never sinned. So again, that's the problem I have with dispensationalism. I can't get down with it on the face of it. It mangles up passages that were clearly understood by the first century audience to mean this generation. And Matthew 24 is a prophecy of the destruction of the temple in 70 AD. And it's so obvious that anybody that uses Matthew 24 as a text to interpret the end times, yeah, I don't know. Go for it if you want, but plain reading, and then once you understand that there are options outside of dispensational Zionist futurism that you can adhere to, and that make more sense of the scriptures, like preterism, and I mean pretty much any of the other ones make more sense than dispensational futurism. Futurism has so many problems, so many logical inconsistencies. But yeah, but I'm not going to get into a theological debate on this topic on this live, maybe in the future. But we have some other stuff to talk about, okay? Because I have a litany of Jasmine Crockett tweets to discuss, because Jasmine has been good to this channel. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let me let y'all have that fight out in the... Yeah, Jasmine Crockett speaks. Are we going to listen to old Jasmine talking about Sesame Street? How to get to Sesame Street. How to get to Sesame Street. La da da.
When you start to talk about whether or not Sesame Street or anything else that's on NPR or PBS ends up in other places, this is so that there is not this warped thought process about the Western world or about the United States. We're talking about making sure that we don't end up allowing people to be radicalized against us because they have a terrible vision of us, because they may be in a government that actually puts out bad, terrible propaganda about us. When you start to talk about whether or not Sesame Street or anything else that's on NPR or PBS ends up in other places, this is so that there is not this warped thought process about the Western world or about the United States. We're talking about making sure that we don't end up allowing people to be radicalized against us because they have a terrible vision of us, because they may be in a government that actually puts out bad, terrible propaganda about us. When you start...
it's critical that we fund Sesame... What? Now, you noticed that, huh, Kiana? You noticed the new wig, because she was sporting that thing. Okay? She was sporting that thing. I don't know if we're going to see it in another, but yeah, she wants to support, fund NPR and PBS to foreign nations. Why? If their government, you think their government is going to allow it? Right. So Elmo is going to make people stop hating America, right? I don't even like Elmo, and I'm American. I'm tired of Elmo. I hate the Elmoization of Sesame Street. It has been, it's brought Sesame Street downhill. It used to be about education back in the 70s and 80s. Now it's about propaganda itself. And again, how do you? Yeah. Anyway, okay. But yeah, she been whipping that thing, right? I don't know if y'all noticed, but we're going to see in a couple of clips, but she's going to talk about how, California is the bee's knees, right? California.
Earlier, someone mentioned these hellholes, talking about the cities, right? Talking about cities being hellholes. I just want to point to Los Angeles. I'm sure that's one of the cities they were referring to when they said that. Los Angeles contributes almost $20 billion in taxes. You know what? That's more than all states in this country except for 4. So guess what? If we are going to push any ideologies, it seems like LA should have an outsized interest in the ideology, because it seems like they actually contribute more money than all these other states, especially these red states, to be clear. In fact, I have another UC.
Without objection.
All right, blue states are bailing out red states. I have what?
She whipping that new wig / whatever press or whatever she got going on, right? I got the thing, right? I'm gonna whip this thing. Look at her right here at the end. She gonna let y'all know. She gonna cock their head back and let them know, Jazzy. Come on, Jazzy, let them know. Let them know. Here it is.
Objection. All right,
here it is, right here.
We're
gonna do this. We're going to back it up a little bit. We'll let her whip that thing right at half speed, because that's what she wants y'all to see. She wants y'all to see that hair. Come on, here it is.
In fact, I have another UC.
There you go.
All
Whip
right,
it.
blue states are.
But unfortunately, Jasmine, it doesn't really matter if they contribute more money. You can still be a hellhole. Fecal matter, right? You ever heard of that going on in California? Was that San Francisco? Is it San Francisco, right? Skid Row in Los Angeles. These places can be hellholes and still have a thriving tax base because they're large cities. I know she kind of confused cities and states, but it's hard when you're, in front of lots of people and you're juggling a lot of ideas. I get it. So I won't go off on that. But it doesn't follow that they should have more influence because they have more money. I thought you all didn't like that fact that billionaires and millionaires have too much influence. But is it okay when it's blue millionaires? Blue millionaires? Oh, blue millionaires and billionaires that vote, that think the way you do ideologically, they're okay. Gotcha, Jasmine. Gotcha. All right. Well, it is what it is. Now, she's been whipping that wig, though. I'm glad Kiana noticed it, right? The ladies always notice stuff like that. And I wonder if they're going to, that's the same clip. I wonder if the women are going to recognize that. Right. She said, Erica says it. Yes, San Francisco, there's an app where you can see tracked turds. There it is. Boom. All right. Now you see on this one, she's not whipping that hair as much, right? Because in this one, she don't have the new press.
Jump on because obviously it's been bombs, missiles, all kinds of stuff. And to be clear, I've still not gotten any type of briefing. So just so y'all know,
they haven't talked to Jasmine
nobody's
yet.
tried to call us in for a top secret briefing at all as whole sitting members of Congress, but whatever. So I wanted to make sure that y'all knew that. So unfortunately, my information is not any more advanced than the information that you're getting, whether you're watching TV or if you're on social media. But I wanted to jump on because obviously it's been bombs, missiles, all kinds of stuff.
Like that.
And to be clear,
okay,
I've still not gotten.
Okay, I gotta pause you. Yeah, this is the one. This is another one. She couldn't even get the A-OK from her party, right? She wanted to be to run for ranking member of the oversight committee, but she couldn't get enough support even amongst her own people. They don't even like Democrats are not even liking. Oh yeah, hey Sue, you're right about
doing
that.
it, and maybe if there was some consultation, maybe with those that say have constitutional authority, since we care about the Constitution, then maybe we could have saved the American people not only money, but the lives that are now at risk as we have to put out warnings for American citizens in this country and abroad. Maybe we need to start leading with the people at the middle of what it is that is guiding us, instead of following one person.
I know.
The reason that people like me say things like y'all are in a cult is because somehow people are abdicating their duties and abdicating the very people that put them into office. Money.
Got that attitude.
Let me tell you, just dropping those few bombs in one day, that was the beginning of what is going to be a very long bill for us as they talk about being efficient. There was nothing efficient about doing it. And maybe if there was some consultation, maybe with those that say have constitution.
Well, look, she said y'all need to check with her, okay? I don't know what y'all think. Y'all don't seem to understand that she runs the executive branch. Y'all need to check with her before y'all make any decisions. Here, Mr. President, you don't have authority. Now, here's the last one where she that new press, she about to whip that thing. Look, concerns about, here it is. She about to whip it. She got to whip it. Here we go. Come on, whip that. There you go. There you go. Where you got to press play.
Do you have concerns about the president's health and his mental acuity?
No.
None whatsoever.
I had none. Now, granted, I didn't see Joe Biden every single day, but I did have an opportunity to interact with the president. I never had a concern. If there's anyone that I am concerned about their mental acuity, it is the current occupant.
Do you have concerns about the president's health?
She wasn't worried about Joe Biden, who was
mental acuity at all? None. None.
No,
Completely.
I had none. Now, granted, I didn't see Joe Biden.
Right? She completely unfit for the office, and obviously was mentally incapable of running the United States of America, but she didn't see any of that. Yeah.
Why you always lying?
All right, Jasmine. Right, exactly. Oh boy, these people just they lie. Right, lack of mental acuity. Right, yeah, we need to worry about her lack of mental acuity. That's the problem. All right, so Jasmine did what she does. Now let's listen into some. Let me see. Right, he runs the military. He don't run the country, but he runs the military, and that's the point. They don't have to check with Jasmine Crockett every time they want to perform a military strike. Everybody knows that. She knows that. Come on, guys. The red herrings don't really help the conversation. You know what she was talking about, and anybody that's taken a basic civics course knows what was happening there. President Trump did not declare war because he cannot declare war, but he can authorize military strikes up to a certain point in time and for certain reasons, and he can declare those reasons, and he doesn't have to check with Congress about any of it. I mean, y'all pretending like y'all are smarter than the rest of us. Like we didn't take 9th grade civics. Like saying 3 separate and equal branches disproves the point. That's because yeah, anyway, goodness. But let's listen into, we got some problems. Now, I think we believe there are some easy solutions to this. All right. All right. All right. There's some easy solutions to this problem that we're having here. Okay. Listen to this young man, Somalian state senator from Minnesota. Somalian American, I guess you want to call him that. Omar Fateh. See what he's saying. He's a mayoral candidate now, but listen to what he says.
Being called terrorists. We heard them being called drug dealers. We heard a lot of insults. We heard that they're a threat to our national security. And that's a flat-out lie. You want to know who the real threat is, Madam President? I'll give you a hint. They don't look like our chief author. They don't look like the folks up in the gallery. They don't look like the folks out in the rotunda. They look like many of the members that sit in the front. And you don't have to take my word for it. According to DHS, Madam President, the greatest domestic threat facing the United States comes from, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocate for the superiority of the white race, not our immigrants. We are safer and we're better off because of them. Heard them being called
safer and better off because of immigrants. Of these illegal immigrants? Are you talking about the right? That's a great question, Daniel. Why did these people flee their country to come here to be amongst all of these horrible white racists? I would like to know that question. I would like to know the answer of that question too. If it's so bad here, why did you all flee here? Because he's obviously, I think, second generation. He was born here, but his parents moved here for a reason. So around all of these evil white people, it's amazing, right? And this is what they brought to Minnesota.
once we bury them, inshallah, then we'll go ahead and open for the sisters. Please go back, sisters. Please. Inshallah. We're delaying the process. Sisters, please go back. Sisters, please go back, inshallah. Let your fathers bury your sisters before you, inshallah. You guys are going to go afterwards. Ameen, inshallah. Please, inshallah. Please, Marka, once we bury them, inshallah, then we'll go ahead and open for the sisters. Please go back, sisters.
So this is not Mogadishu. That's what it says, right? It's Minneapolis. The influx of Somalian immigrants saying that they're going to make things safer. Okay, well, if you say so, right? One last thing we're going to talk about, because I put her in the thumbnail and I got to talk about her before we go. All right, I got like 5 minutes, so we're going to talk about this one. Okay, got to talk about this, and I'm going to stoke the fires one last time with this. This is for my brothers out here. Okay, my single brothers, right? All right, this has been a trending topic. Oh boy, yeah, where is it? Yes. So this has been a trending topic amongst the brothers, right? I wanted to talk about this one. I got so much stuff, right? But Megan and Clay, right? Megan Thee Stallion and Clay Thompson. Right? Right? Yeah. So y'all heard the news that Clay pulled Megan. Right? Pulled. Yeah, I know, right? I've seen it happening, but I mean, I was going to talk about Paul Pierce, but I don't have enough time. What the truth said about his talk with Cheyenne Bryant, and then also his admonition for men to go overseas to find their brides, right? But exactly, that's the question, right, Kiana? Is this really a pull? That's what I'm asking. Is this really a pull, or is it this like a little right? Exactly. Run, Clay, run. But Clay thinking with his lower member, right? That's all that is. But this is what I wanted to talk about. Why do this? And I'm just asking, why do these YNs think that she's a pull? What? Again, if you don't have corn brain, yes, the Passport Bro movement. If you don't have corn brain, what about Megan Thee Stallion would interest you? If you're any type of man of means of, unless you're just, again, like Clay, they're running through these women, and they have corn brain, and they have money, they have status, they have fame, but they lack wisdom. No man of any virtue, character, and the like would ever be caught dead with a Megan Thee Stallion on her. Money does not make you wise, and it does not increase your status amongst people who actually have status. Clay is rich, but men in certain circles look at him like, why do you have this ratchet, right? Why would you do this? There's no good reason for someone of your means to associate yourself with her. And this just speaks to the fact that these basketball players, they get money well before they get wisdom. Wealth before wisdom is a bad mix. That's why so many of them go broke. One thing I will give LeBron James, I am no fan of LeBron James as a basketball player, as a human being, but I will give him this. He was smart enough to get married, stay married to this one woman, and kept whatever scandals or whatever women he was dealing with on the down low, and didn't. I don't know what he's been doing, but he's been able to keep a somewhat clean image, except when he talks. That's the only time he really gets into trouble, when he articulates words. But other than that, he doesn't seem like he's going to go the same way that a lot of these guys are going to go, letting their lower member bring them down to Sheol, like the James Hardens is, and whoever else, like even Steph Curry, one woman, got his wife, got his family, right? Yeah, that's his greatest achievement, is a stable family, right? Because all the stat padding and everything else is like, yeah. And so these guys have corn brain, like Zion Williamson and James Harden and apparently Clay. These guys have corn brain, and their money will not last them very long. They need to find them a very stable, loving, God-fearing woman to take care of them. But they'd rather just, do whatever old boy says in the songs, right? Oh, tick, 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 that thing, right? But yeah, that's unfortunate. This is what does the Bible say? Many she has brought low. Many. Clay, I know you won't see this, but like Derek Franklin said, run, brother, run. Ain't no run. Ain't no reason. No reason to keep that, right? Ain't no reason. Until next time, y'all, I got to get out of here. Be on the alert. Thank you to everybody that liked, commented, subscribed, super chatted, everything, right? All that stuff. And until next time, be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. See y'all around. Bye.